Yeah, so this episode like just starts off like Calamon's being like transported to the world of like the Devas or whatever in like this cage. And it's like, oh, that's kind of depressing. Anyways, the rest of the gang just glitch through the ground and end up in a forest.
Yeah, it's there's no explanation given. They just fall through the ground.
Yeah, so like this was like super weird because like I kind of just assumed that it's like when they said, oh yeah, like, the real world spears beams send you to different worlds, it was like stuff other than the digital world. But like apparently the different like environments they've been going through have all been like different quote unquote worlds. And
Yeah.
there's like they've been using weird like special means to go between them. Cause like the whole desert area was like a world, and like you see of like a war cave and that's like a world, and this forest place is a different world.
Yeah.
Just very odd, because it's like, oh, I didn't assume you could just like, walk down a staircase and travel to another world, but that's the logic we're going with.
Doesn't seem too out of line for the digital world, honestly.
Yeah,
Also,
like,
despite the fact that Takato, Henry, and Terriermon get sucked into different beams, they all went to the same place.
yeah. It's fine.
Mm.
But yeah, like the way I'm kind of like justifying this in my head, right? Like the way I'm kind of like, like mentally like compartmentalizing this is that it's like, okay, like the digital world's like the hard drive, and each of these different like worlds is like a different folder, basically.
Sure.
Like, not sure if that's specifically what this is supposed to be like, but that's what makes sense to me. That's what makes sense to me. Yeah, sure.
I mean, the analogy of like using a computer or whatever is fitting because it's Digimon, but that's like they're not in a computer.
Yeah, they're not literally in a computer, it's just, it feels like it's analogous to that, I think,
Yeah.
as far as for, like, how this works. Because it's like, you're still in the digital world, but you're just going to different, like, folders with, like, different, like, stuff. And you have to, like, find a special means to get to another folder. Mm. Yeah, so the gang just sort of glitch into the grassland, and Orochimon is just there. Like he
Yeah.
just comes out of the lake.
Apparently, apparently Orochimon has the Geckomon that live in the area making him liquor.
You mean milkshakes, right?
No, I mean liquor.
But yeah, so the deal is that it's like Orochimon's been fighting Andromon, who's like on the screen right now, and Andron's been like, he's been doing his best, but Orochimon's really strong, and the more milkshakes he drinks, the more powerful he becomes.
Is Orochimon ultimate level?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Like English Ultimate, I should mean.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
meant. I mean, in most cases, we're going to be using the English names.
Yeah. Which makes it very confusing when, like, they defeat him in the way they do. But, like, sure, why not, I guess.
The way they beat him is weird and doesn't fit what this episode is supposed to be about.
Yes, it doesn't fit with what it's supposed to be about. And it also doesn't really make sense. And also, like, what the heck? I'll say it right now, Leomon beats him. And he, like, beats him by, like, absorbing effing, like, Lay Devimon as a card because Jerry finally does a card slash. And he shoots poison at a snake monster, and that kills it.
Yeah, which I forgot to look it up, but Yeah, Lady Devimon's an ultimate, right?
Yeah.
At least the power level makes sense then. But like,
Does
does this?
it?
Well, I mean, an ultimate could beat an ultimate. So, but here's the thing: like, if that's how it works, then like, why don't they just walk around with a pack of megas?
I mean, like, because here's the thing, like, we have seen them use, like, attacks from higher level Digimon before. Like, I think it was Gilmon that used, like, like, basically Ice Wolf Claw from, like, Melgarurumon. And it was,
Yeah, but
like, more effective than usual because ice, but it was still, like, like, not, like, a big killer or something.
yeah, but that was just like a card with the attack, right?
Yeah, isn't
Like,
this.
like Jerry uses the Lady Devimon card. Like,
Yeah,
it's not just the attack; she just uses the monster.
yeah, that's super weird, actually. Because, like,
Also, I've never known Lady Devimon to have a poison breath attack.
and I'll, like, say at least it does make sense.
I guess.
It does kind of fit, although it's like she's usually more about bats and, like, sonic waves and stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
It's like darkness wave and, like, bitch slaps.
pretty
Because
much.
we had that scene with Angelomon.
Yeah. Jerry scans the card, and Kazu and Kenta are like, Lady Devimon,
Like,
and then it just works.
yeah, it feels so inconsistent, but I guess, as long as you believe in it,
Yeah.
Yeah, why not, I guess. She believed in that poison so strong, it killed a creature whose main ability is poison.
Well, we don't ever. I don't think we ever see Orochimon use poison.
Yeah, but it's a
He
snake, I mean, come on.
breathes a lot of fire.
Maybe poison's just super effective against fire for some reason.
I don't know. But yeah, this episode is very much based on the story of Yamato no Orochi.
So, like, should we just recap the story for people who don't know?
I don't think I've ever actually read the actual mythological story. I just know what it is in Okami.
From what I understand, that's basically pretty much it.
Yeah. So instead, they change things around. Obviously, instead of demanding the sacrifice of a maiden from a village, Orochimon has the nearby Geckomon make him liquor.
Yeah. So I feel like this is a pretty intentional reference because I'm not sure how familiar you are with, like, the story that, like, Jiraiya's from, because I forget what it's actually called. But it's like there actually is a thing in mythology where it's like, oh yeah, snakes are super effective against frogs, and, like, slugs are, like, good against snakes and stuff, and frogs are strong against slugs.
Huh.
So it, like, makes a lot of sense that he's specifically, like, bossing around Geckomon of all things.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, I guess. So what I was getting at is, I think the idea of like the sacrificial maiden. I think they kind of reference it in that Orochimon, upon seeing Jerry, is like just like fixated on capturing her for some reason.
Yeah, just, like, for no real reason, literally just for the reference. Just because
Yeah,
he needs a booze pourer.
I feel like that. I feel like that's the point of that, is just to reference that bit of the story.
Yeah,
Uh,
because we specifically see that, like, he can just lift these barrels of, like, milkshakes up with, like, his mouth and drink them, no problem.
yeah, yeah. He doesn't need someone to pour the booze for him. He just wants her to, I guess.
He
Uh,
just wants it.
yeah. So they come across. They see smoke in the distance after Andromon gets totally thrashed by Orochimon. and they go there to try and get them fixed up. And it's like, oh, it's a factory. What are they making? And Jerry's like, oh, it's alcohol. I know what it smells like. I work at a restaurant. My family has a restaurant.
I really should have just rewatched the entire episode because I skimmed around just to like see what they replaced it with.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm super curious. I'm sure she's like, oh, I know that smell. It's milkshakes or something.
Probably. I don't know. It wouldn't make sense for them to be so like, how do you know what alcohol smells like?
Yeah. Like they probably like edit, so it's like they look in the window and she's like, oh, they're making milkshakes. They're like, how do you know those are like the ingredients or what? She's like, oh, I work at a restaurant, so of course.
We serve milkshakes.
Yeah. And nothing else.
Yeah. But yeah, they're like making liquor out of like the dust packets.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot. That's a cool little detail.
Yeah, because it seems like the data can be just kind of turned into whatever if you know how to do it, you can turn it into things, including medicine to heal a Digimon.
Yeah, it's just, raw, just packets of data just going around that haven't been, like, like, turned into anything yet, I guess.
Yeah, so it makes sense that it's like, oh, the Digimon's missing part of its data because it got hurt, and so you just use the packet to replace the data lost.
Yeah, because I should probably mention, it's like, Andromon gets hurt, and they, like, heal him, and, like, after I do it, he de-digivolves into Gardramon.
Yeah.
Which I believe is the first time we've ever seen, like, a wild Digimon actually de-digivolve outside of, like, that one weird case with Leomon in Season 1. Where, like, he gained power from the Digivice so he could go Mega for a bit. Like, back in Adventure.
Yeah, though there's also the moment coming up in an episode or two.
Yeah, I feel like that's also a bit different, though, isn't it?
Kind of. Well, there's a reason. There's a reason that happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I understand the reason.
Yeah, that's pretty clear. Also, just a little fun moment where, so the Geckomon say gecko after everything.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a little tick they have. And then Guillemon starts doing it, and Kent is like, you don't have to do it to Guillemon. He's like, but it's fun.
It's fun, Gecko.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's just Guillemon being cute.
Yeah. Man, what's the one from, like, Back in Adventure that, like, the Kiwimon were doing?
Probably just saying Kiwi.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they're saying, like, Dodo or something.
Maybe.
I don't know, that feels right at least. And, like, Kari starts doing it too, and there's, like, no stop it.
Also, something about the Geckomon situation. It's kind of weird not seeing a Shogun Geckomon around.
Yeah, maybe he existed and he just got wiped out.
I guess. It's just usually in Digimon media, if there's a group of Geckomon, there's usually a Shogun Geckomon who leads them.
Man, I can't see why, because if there's, like, 2 ultimates around, then it'd be like, well, just, team up and take them out. Which, honestly, would be a way better resolution to the story, probably.
Yeah, the fight against... Like, this episode's just kind of fun and whatever, but, like, it's also kind of really stupid.
I kind of like it a lot.
I do like it. It's kind of a bad episode, but I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like... Yeah, main thrust is like, oh, hey, like, we can't fight Orochimon because, he'll just, like, cause trouble and wipe our village. So stop trying to be a hero, you're just making things worse. And Gardramon's like, no, but at least I'm standing up to him and, like, trying to do what's right.
You all justice stuff.
Yeah, you all should, like, join me. Yeah, yeah, I forgot. He actually does straight up say when they first meet him, he's like, I am the Andromon of Justice.
Yeah. He's also aware of the fact that saying that is kind of embarrassing. Like, he says that, he's like, it's a bit embarrassing, but I'm Andromon of Justice. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Also, if the Gekomon would actually team up with Andromon, they might be able to take him. Because that's a lot of Gekomon. They're all champion level.
Yeah. They have, like, old Gekomon children, though. They can't risk that.
It's like, dude, you guys, you're just like, normally in Digimon, the power level scaling is like, oh, you're not on the same level, you can't beat this Digimon. But, like, they have Andromon to help them. Like, if they concentrated an attack on Orochimon, they might be able to beat him.
You think in this series where you see, like, you know, like a Mud Frigimon that's clearly, like, a child or, like, an old man or something, like, they just look like that when they Digivolve, and they just don't question it. Like, no, that's just how your champion form looks like. You were just an old man forever.
I don't know, something weird about the Mud Frigimon, just to kind of say something like we were formed out of the garbage data or something.
Yeah, because, like, I'm questioning this because now it's like we have an old man Gekomon, too.
I'm not so sure he's an old man, like, he's got a cane or whatever, but
He has
I'm
a
not
cane
so sure.
and, like, he has some wrinkles.
They're all wrinkly.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah, like, I'm looking at it right now, and anytime it shows the other Gekomon, they're about as wrinkly as he is.
They just have to make him identifiable as, like, oh, this is the one, though.
This is the leader Gekomon. Maybe he would be the Shogun Gekomon if he was stronger.
I could see it. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, I think Orochimaru just kidnaps Jerry, and they're like, oh no, we have to stand up to, like, save her and stuff. And she's like, oh, I know, I'll, like, keep feeding him milkshakes until he passes out and goes to sleep. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. It is kind of weird when she gets kidnapped. She's like, "I'll be okay. I'm the daughter of the restaurant owner or whatever." It's like, okay.
It's like, I'm used to dealing with drunkards.
Yeah, and it's like, oh man, Jerry's home life probably sucks, huh?
It's pretty funny that she's just so confident about it. Just like, oh, he's drunk. I could deal with this.
Yeah.
And, like, to her credit, she totally has things under control.
It's a good idea. It's just unfortunate that Orochimon powers up with alcohol.
He's basically effing like Bender, but a snake. You gave him fuel.
Also, the mechanical heads can get drunk, apparently.
Yeah. The mechanical heads get drunk, but the real one doesn't.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, so Fabe's just straight up like, yo, they start destroying some of his heads, and he's like, oh, these mechanical heads are fake, and yo, like, I could just regenerate them, and he does, and they're like, oh crap.
But the effect of the heads regenerating is just kind of awful.
Yeah, it's like, it's basically the effect of, like, something dying in the show and, like, exploding into data, but, like, done in reverse.
Yeah, they just play the animation in reverse. It looks really goofy.
Yes.
And then but yeah, after Andromon Andromon reverts to Gargemon and he's healing, and Kazu is there, like making sure he's okay and everything. And that's about the only interaction he has with him.
Yeah. I get the point, though, because it's like, Kazu actually, yeah, he actually, like, cares for Andromon and stuff, just being like, oh yeah, be my partner and stuff,
Yeah.
So he actually gets to be his tamer, because he gives a crap.
Yeah. by the way, the episode's literally called, like, Hirokazu, Andromon's partners. I don't know, I forgot what it's called.
Yeah. And now we're dealing with, like, Ultimates. Andromon will never do anything again.
Yeah, so Gardramon's like, hey, what if we just, like, you know, Trojan horse this? And so they hide in the liquor barrels.
Yeah. I do want to point out the shot of them, like, coming out of the barrels is pretty good, because they have, like, all the dark shadows over them and stuff.
Yeah. Also, I like the shot of, like, Guillemot doesn't jump out of the barrel, he tears it apart and steps out.
Yeah. Yeah, they break out of the barrels and they're like, yeah, we'll take you out, Orochimon. And he's like, oh no, I actually became stronger. And Jerry's like, oh, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. Jerry's like, yeah, I got him all nice and drunk. And the Geckomon are like, but he gets stronger that way. And she's like, no way.
I don't understand drunkards at all, I guess. My life is a lie.
He just doesn't understand alcoholic Digimon.
Alcoholic Digimon.
I wonder if Nanimon powers up through alcohol.
Nah, we've seen him get drunk and he just passes out.
You're right. You're totally right. But yeah,
it's just Orochimon.
Yeah. By the way, the Orochimon fake heads thing is stupid, but at least it makes sense because we see Renamon like just kick one and it explodes, and I'm like, shut up, she's a rookie.
No, you can incapacitate them, but you can't destroy them.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they're fake, so they just blow up easily, and then you just regenerate them, I guess.
It's like an adventure when, Zudomon, the others are, taking out Apocalymon's arms.
Yeah.
Even though he's, an ultra level.
Yeah, Guillemon shoots one of the fireball and it explodes.
Yeah.
And, Leomon stabs one.
I don't say that good just to be sure, because it's yeah, Apocalypse isn't a mega, he's an ultra level. He's beyond mega.
Yeah, Apocalymon's he's like a gimmick final boss.
Yeah, because you don't actually power up to beat him. They just sealed him away.
Yeah, they just get a power up from being the chosen ones, and it's like, oh, we win. By the way, there's also a shot of Renamon using Diamond Storm, where she gets a bunch of shadows on the animation. In the animation, she's all heavily shadowed and everything, and it just looks really good.
Yeah,
it just looks like a really good shot.
But yeah, I still can't believe it's a Pokemon literally deletes the kids and they undelete themselves from being turned into binary code.
Yeah.
And somehow managed to win.
Yeah, they're the chosen ones. They can't lose.
Man, Digimon Adventure was wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, so effing Leomon does this thing, he breathes poison on a snake and kills it with poison.
Yeah. Kazu's like, you're a tamer, Jerry, you gotta help Leomon. She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll use this one then, this is a good trick.
Gardramon's like, we have to change your fighting style, and that's when Jerry's just like, oh yeah, cards.
Yeah. It's hey, how about spinning? That's a good trick, and then it wins the battle.
Yeah. Also, just Leomon getting the red eyes of Lady Devimon just kind of gives me vibes of when he was evil in Adventure.
Yeah.
Kill children.
Is that the best introduction to a character? Just effing oh, it's okay, Leomon's actually a good Digimon that protects the weak. Kill the children.
Did that happen in the sub too?
I think it I think that was originally from the sub. Okay,
I'm pretty sure they do it in the dub too. It's just
yeah.
If glad that's just they kept it the same for both. Also, so the episode pretty much ends with Kazu getting a Digivice, and Gargemon's just like, "Oh, we're partners," and it's like, I don't know. I would have expected the episode that's supposedly about Kazu becoming a tamer to revolve around him and Gargemon defeating Orochimon.
Yeah. No,
But
Kazu's not gonna do anything of value ever.
no, probably not. I don't think he does. But yeah, like him getting Gargemon as a partner is pretty much an afterthought.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that the episode is titled after it.
It's such an afterthought that I'm convinced that, like, this character is going to go through the rest of the series, and, you know, he may have, like, a motivating speech or something, but he's gonna be, like, the goober of the group the entire time. Like, there's no way.
I don't think Gargemon ever evolves again. Despite the fact that we know he has the potential to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about right. I like no shade on Kazu. This seems about like what he deserves at this point.
It's just the writers. If they wanted to have him part of the group and get a Digimon partner, it's like, make him do stuff.
Man, like people say Joe's like the weakest of the like adventure group or whatever, but like Zudamon's one of the more effective ultimates. He gets so many kills.
Yeah.
He has so many good moments.
I guess maybe people are just thinking of Gomamon, who rarely does anything.
I'm sure they are.
It's just because his signature attack is throwing fish. Like,
yeah,
rookie level Gomamon isn't very effective.
Fish that he can spawn in like an arena coliseum in the desert from nowhere.
Don't worry about it.
Even Gomamon didn't understand how that worked.
Yeah, it's pretty great. But then it's like, okay, then he turns into like a giant walrus monster that's pretty cool. And then he turns into Vikings.
Yeah, he turns into a walrus monster. It's basically like a one-person, like, living missile platform. And, like, yeah, he just gains a big hammer that, like, kills megas and wrecks everyone.
Yeah.
He killed Metal Etamon. Zudomon did.
On Discord, you said something about you said something about watching some of Digimon 2020, or were you just saying like, is that like a hypothetical that I would talk about it?
I actually did watch more of Digimon 2020. I thought like save that for like next week or something though, where I've like gone through more of it.
Okay.
Because, like, I did finally, like, get back into that. I got to a point where they got the backstory on, like, oh, the demons and the angels are warring and stuff.
Right.
It was one of those things where it's like, I heard this before from people. I heard people are being like, oh, hey, we have a bot in the chat.
I can't see Twitch.
Yeah, I heard people are... let's see, what's the command to, like, ban? Is it just, like...
You're on your channel, just like... oh, wait, do you have it up on your iPad or whatever? If you do, then just tap on his name and it should bring up an option to ban him.
Unable to ban user, what the heck?
Huh?
Yeah, that's weird. Why can't I ban them? Do I not have the power to ban people in my own chat?
I think Twitch's servers are, like, dying. Because I can't access it on my phone or my computer. Like, we're probably still live, and even if we're not, it's probably still recording, so I don't think we have to worry about anything. It's just, Twitch has been dying all week for some reason.
Yeah, just don't click that link, I guess.
Yeah, for anybody, well, if anybody can watch, you know.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, you heard about the backstory of the demons and angels and stuff, right? That's what you're saying.
and I think I blocked him or something, so that's something. But yeah, like, I heard people talk about the backstory between the Dunes and Angels and, like, the reboot. I heard, like, some guy in, like, a Discord just, like, being like, oh, how cliche and lame or whatever. It was like, dude, this is literally from Adventure. This is, like, exactly how they handled it.
I thought it was like maybe I'm just a big softy, but I don't know. Like them seeing the flashback of the war and like Agumon seeing himself as War Greymon and like he can't remember, he doesn't know why, but it like causes him to like like tear up over it,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh man.
Yeah, it's basically it's like, oh no, this is lame because like this is so cliche or whatever. It's like demons and Digimon have consistently been like evil, like categorically evil, like powered by darkness, mustache twirling villains who literally get off on like destroying good things because they are good.
Yeah, if anything, I think the series handles it better because they're set up.
Yeah.
And you probably haven't gotten to it yet, but they do tie in. You probably already know that Angemon and Devimon are kind of linked, like lore wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually make an attempt to like. It feels like they're trying to make an attempt to have that be a thing in this.
Digimon is like, and specifically Digimon Adventure, it's very specifically like, oh yeah, the evil bad man is using evil darkness to do bad, and he is a literal devil.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, you've seen Ogremon at this point, right?
Yeah,
Oh man, I can't wait for you to get further in.
man. But yeah, it's interesting to be like, because like, O2 Cap tried to add some like ambiguity to things. This feels like it's going like a step further in like Tamers specifically. Cause like we're getting actual characters on like the bad guy's side, and we're getting like philosophies of like, oh yeah, like there are no moral absolutes or whatever and stuff like that, and it's like, oh, the Devas aren't necessarily evil, they're just like against us basically.
They're gods, so they must be good. Well, not necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so like, should we just move on to the next episode, or should we try and like, I don't know, because I feel like out of maybe our thoughts about like the 2020 reboot right now, I feel like we'd do another whole thing about that.
At the point you're at, not much has happened. Sound Birdmon is kind of lame because
Yeah,
it's just a sentient black gear.
like you're probably sick of me saying this, but Sound Birdmon feels way more interesting in the card game, where his gimmick is that you can throw away an option card and gain one memory, and that makes it very good with like very specific setups.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the card game version. I just know that Sound Birdmon is lame.
Yeah.
That they it because it just does what a black gear does. It's alive, I guess.
I just really like that, like, the card game's getting this really interesting play style where it's like, if you run a purple deck, there is a lot of option card support and a lot of cards that'll give you resources just for, like, using some of their really good option cards.
Okay. Uh, Before we move on to the next episode, I'm gonna go run to the bathroom real quick.
Okay, yeah.